Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. Aloha Friday. Got some updates for you today in terms of genre movies and DC as well. Let's get right into it. The first topic of the day is Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, Godzilla vs. Kong drops today on digital, so you can buy it or rent it anywhere. But I've already told you that there are things that have been messed with Godzilla vs. Kong. This is not the original Godzilla vs. Kong. There's story elements were missing, things were chopped up. You can clearly see that when you watch the movie, including like they're taking out Mothra and stuff like that. Well, now we'll find out a little bit more what they've taken out. This was a tweet. Whoa, just found out from Godzilla Wiki that the armored Godzilla toy concept was going to be in the GVK until as late of 2020. The only other movie that I've seen have VFX parts removed that were being actively worked on to this degree. This is Justice League. Richard Kyle, who works for VFX department, I believe, he says it did happen. I mean, we did finish part of the FX for it, but during late 2020, it was removed from the story, and that's all I can say. And I'm like wondering what has removed from the story, like what sequence, like how more, like this is what we're talking about, right? This is the toy that came out, and usually you have toys that have all these different suits and armors and toys that have nothing to do with the movie. And so after the movie, we assumed, well, they weren't selling this for some reason. And maybe they just didn't sell it or whatever, but there's this toy that was taken off the market, and this had armor, like some kind of armored or something around them. And you're like, what is that? What was that supposed to be? Was that like something? How I don't get how this part was in the movie. Like, did Godzilla get defeated once? Then they had to fix him up and armored him in a way, turning him semi, biomechanical, whatever, and to fight Mechagodzilla, or what happened after that? So I'm very curious about that, and for them to have removed it back in late 2020. Right? Like 3 months, a few months before it actually came out. That's pretty late. That's a lot of stuff they cut out. How long was this movie? And what was that about? What happened here? Why did he have armor? Like, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know. But I think there is a bigger movie, absolutely a bigger Godzilla vs. Kong movie out there. And I don't know if we'll ever see it. I don't think we ever will, but that means they put a lot more budget into this movie, and they deleted, they removed all that, and so now a good box office doesn't mean anything, because you literally made a different film from what it was before. Like, there is a Wingard cut. Whether Wingard wants to champion that or not, probably not. He's a young director. He's getting more stuff down the line. He's going to get Son of Kong, so he probably doesn't want to make any moves or anything like that. But I would have loved to see this. And I think a lot of Godzilla fans would have at least curious to see what other things happened in this movie beyond Godzilla fighting Kong and fighting Mechagodzilla. You got Mothra, you got the Orca, you all this kind of stuff that should have been in the movie. And I would have loved to see it. So, yeah. What was that like, right? Okay, let's move on. I did a genre, etc. video for you today in terms of Highlander. I love Highlander. I grew up watching Highlander. I even like Highlander 2, The Quickening. I mean, a lot of people are like, what is that about? Why are the aliens? I get it. It was weird. But, I liked it. I really liked it, especially when he's like an old man, and he chops off one of the goons' heads, and he turns young again. That was really cool. That futuristic setting and everything, and it was really cool. So, hey, I liked it. But I like the other ones as well. I even like the TV series. So, even the cartoon. Remember the cartoon? They had an animated cartoon, Highlander. So I was excited to hear that there is another Highlander movie, and none other than Henry Cavill will be Highlander. So I'm like really looking forward to that, and so I'm really into that. So I put out that genre video. If you want to check it out, it's right. The link's right up here. Okay, but Henry Cavill posted this today. Very exciting news today. I've been a fan of Highlander since I was a lad. From the movies in all of their 80s, Queen slathered glory, to the TV show with an actor who looked remarkably like one of my brothers, Adrian Paul, I guess, being not shy with swords and having a director as talented as Chad Stiletto Zaleski at the helm. This is an opportunity like no other. Deep diving into franchise storytelling with all the tools at our disposal is going to make this an adventure, and hopefully all of you shall never forget. And as you can see from the swipe, I've lately been dipping into some of my Scottish heritage and inadvertently getting my baseline research underway. And it's the, you see a little bit those bloody kilts and Scottish stuff, I guess. I don't know what's going on right there. But, and the article from Justin Scroll, which I based the genre, etc. around, right? I read the article. So I'm really excited for this. I don't know who is he going to play. I don't know if it's Connor McLeod, Duncan McLeod. I don't know. But really, it's going to be a Highlander. So he's definitely, I don't know if it's going to be a reboot of that or a different brother or a different McLeod. I don't know. But, I don't think they should have too many more out there. One was cool. Two was like, oh, there's two Immortals. Three would be like, wait a minute. Okay, so, but yeah, I think it's going to be Connor. I feel like it's, not Connor. I feel like it's going to be, I don't know. Should be Connor or Duncan. Because he looks like both. He could look like both. And that when Ryan Reynolds was, Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling, I forget, who was one of those, was going to be a part of that too. He could be the other McLeod. That'd be kind of cool. So, all right, so that's Highlander. Let's get into some DC. Apparently, Dwayne Johnson is set to play Krypto, the super dog, in DC League of Super Pets for Warner Brothers. So not only is Dwayne Johnson Black Adam, he's going to voice Krypto the super dog, right? And the animated DC film centers on Superman's dog, who teams up with Flying Cat to stop crime while the Man of Steel is on vacation, slated to release in theaters on May 20th of 2022. So yeah, there's another cartoon that's coming out, animated movie, and this time it has Dwayne Johnson as the voice of Krypto Superdog. And I didn't know, but I guess he is, and that's why he's voicing it. He's producing the movie through his company, Seven Bucks Productions, along with his partners Danny Garcia and Hiram Garcia as well. Will Superman show up? And will Henry Cavill voice Superman? Nah, I don't know. We'll see. So that's that. All right, moving along. This is interesting. So, Humberto Gonzalez, a scooper, at least he calls himself that, writer for The Wrap, and he does a lot of scoops and stuff like that, just posted this picture. Just posted a random picture with Deathstroke blowing his mind blown. And so, I was like looking at this, I'm like, Now, a lot of people are like, he's lying, or he's like, remember when he said there was no Snyder Cut? And yeah, absolutely. I remember that, and that was false because, it was a deal being done with HBO Max, not exactly Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers wanted to bury the Snyder Cut, so they had Humberto Gonzalez, he practically writes for them, practically writes for them. So if this is a movie done by the studio, like The Flash, then yeah, I guess Humberto would probably know something like this. And this may upset people, I understand. I am very curious about this, though, because Deathstroke, there was no Deathstroke in the Tim Burton verse, right? So, and that doesn't mean like he didn't exist. Maybe at one point in time he may have existed and stuff like that. And this is absolutely, I believe, about the Flash, because there wouldn't be Michael Keaton's Batman without without showing there, that should be about the Flash, unless it's another movie, another Michael Keaton movie that's coming after the Flash, maybe another spin-off. But I'm just gonna say, hey, what if this is about the Flash, right? But you see Deathstroke there, and you're like, what? Deathstroke's going to be in the Flash movie? I mean, they're trying to cram everybody they can to this movie, absolutely. And so maybe there's a possibility that Joe Manganiello finally gets to be Deathstroke once again, but this time in the Flash movie. He gets to cameo once again. Maybe Deathstroke gets caught in some time loop or whatever, I don't know, the time thing, and travels into that dimension with the Flash and tries to take on, Michael Keaton's Batman. Maybe. I don't know. Depending on how you look at it, I am happy for Joe if he was able to come out of Deathstroke, because that's what I would want from him. Like, everybody would want from him, even Zach would want from him, like, get this guy more roles as Deathstroke. It just seems so minimal. It just seems slow, like, not good. If he just like was a cameo for the first, that Justice League, and a cameo once again for Zack Snyder's Justice League, without ever getting to explore more of him as Deathstroke in the future. So if at least a minimal, now I'd be pretty happy if he got a contract so he could play Deathstroke more, get paid more, absolutely, but get to play Deathstroke more, Slade Wilson, in a future movie like The Flash. So at minimal, I'm very happy for that. But I'm also wondering now, because the original Batman script, in all intents and purposes, Warner Brothers owns that script. What if they are trying to utilize a little bit of that script of Batman versus Deathstroke and include that within the Flash movie, right? That little bit in that Flash movie. But instead of using Batfleck, they used Tim Burton's Michael Keaton's Batman? I don't know how I feel about that. I think we would rather want to see, Joe's Deathstroke versus Ben Affleck's Batman. And the other possibility, which I probably don't like either, is that this is a Tim Burton's version. Not Tim Burton's version, but like the Michael Keaton's version, that Burton verse of Batman. There's a Deathstroke in that world, and it's not played by Joe. That would be kind of upsetting too, because I'm like, you got a perfectly good Deathstroke there, but I understand that if you wanted to create your own Deathstroke in another world, and you're using the Michael Keaton's Batman's world, what would Deathstroke be like in that world? And would they utilize them, that Batfleck story, that Batfleck versus Deathstroke story, and change it to a Michael Keaton Batman versus a Burton version of Deathstroke story? You never know. I mean, this is Hollywood, right? This is Warner Brothers. They own a script. They can take it from wherever and then, change it and utilize it in any way. And we would have never known that until we actually learned about, Batfleck versus Deathstroke and how that was supposed to happen from Joe himself. And also like Justice League 2 and 3, they could adapt any of those stories because they essentially own those stories. They can adapt any of those stories to be part of whatever future Warner Brother Pictures movies are coming out now. So I thought that was interesting, a conversation just to think about, like, what that could mean, what this could mean. You absolutely see Michael Keaton's Batman there. You do see a Deathstroke. You don't know which universe this Deathstroke is coming from. It could be the CW for all I know, or Titans for all we know. I have no idea. But there's certainly, if this is the case, and I think the Keaton's Batman gives it right away, that this is about the Flash. Unless it's a future, like another Batman movie. But I think it's the Flash movie, and I think Deathstroke is going to appear in that Flash movie. So that's quite interesting. And like I said, this man right here, Humberto Gonzalez, gets paid. Like, not paid, I don't know if he does, but pretty much he writes for the studio, right? The studio may have just gave him that just to get people like thinking, putting it out there, because he's all in with the studio, and the studio is trying to tell us this, then this probably could be happening. So we'll see which Deathstroke that is, what universe, and what have you is going to happen, probably in the Flash movie. All right, let's continue on with some DC. Superhero epic Zack Snyder's Justice League is available on 4K Blu-ray and DVD on Monday. This is only Warner Brothers UK, by the way, not in America. So in internet, because it's 21st, they were talking about, right? Actually, I thought it was going to come out on the 21st, but I guess they moved it. So on Monday, if you want a UK version of Zack Snyder's Justice League on Blu-ray, I think it's going to be on Amazon. I think you can already pre-order it. I'm not sure. Check that out. Esquire had a pretty substantial interview with Zack Snyder, weighing in on both Army of the Dead and the Snyderverse, right? And by the way, Army of the Dead is out now on Netflix. Please go and check it out. It's awesome. It's unexpectedly funny. It's a thrill ride. check out my review for that as well. But yeah, check it out. So Esquire talked a little bit with Zack in terms of, Warner Brothers. Actually, quite a bit. So this first question here, where one of the first questions Esquire asked, did you feel as though you had more creative control in working with Netflix as opposed to Warner, where you made all of your DC Universe films? And Snyder says, easy answer, yes. Oh my God, yes. I mean, look, Warner, as far as I'm concerned, is just different. For me, anyway. I'm sure a lot of people are having a great time over there and getting a lot of creative freedom. I could just tell you that in the old days with Alan and Jeff, it was just a different vibe. And maybe that's just my experience. With Watchmen, that's an R-rated gigantic superhero movie with crazy sex in it. It's a head little movie, to be honest, a movie where it was probably 10 years too early, but they amazingly let me just make that movie. And I just don't think that movie in the theaters happens right now. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Netflix has been an amazing partner, and they've been creatively supportive. And honestly, I'm like, I just want to make this movie a hit because you guys have been so cool. Just tell me what I need to do. So he's referring to Watchmen was made back then. They let him make it. That's the point. They let him make something that is controversial pretty much at that time, but they let him make it, and they let him make it how he wanted to make it. So it was really cool to see that happen, although he got to make ultimate cuts and stuff like that later on. But the company over there is totally different now. Totally different now. It's totally different. And in terms of Zack Snyder's Justice League, seemingly with this current regime, right? Even though Discovery took over, they don't actually take over until like next year, right? So we're still working with the current regime for Warner Brothers, and so it's different and a little bit. It's a little bit disappointing that this regime is acting the way they are. So Esquire asked this other question. Have you said goodbye to the Justice League and the DC world? Is that chapter closed for you? Or does that still kind of remain open? And Snyder said this. Well, I mean, they said goodbye to me. And I don't want to. I love those characters. I love that universe. But you just have to read that Ann Sarnoff article the day after the movie came out, where they pretty much said, you got what you wanted, everyone. Now quit asking. So yeah, like I said, not my call. I love those characters. I invested a great deal of my life in those characters. I would never say never to doing another DC movie. But we're talking about the reality. So the reality right now, this current regime does not want him, does not like him, for whatever reason. I don't know. It's not money, obviously, because there's a lot of money to be had in this universe. It's absolutely ego. I don't know. They want to make their own thing right now, make that the most popular thing, while Zack Snyder's Justice League remains to be the more popular thing. That's fine. Whatever. He's just going to do whatever he's going to do, and Zack is happier for it. Because currently, he's happier with Netflix. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming down the line for Netflix, apparently, and that's exciting. And let me go back to this. So Zack Snyder, he even talked about what else was coming down the line when they asked, because right now they have that South America has a COVID situation, so he can't go over there and shoot horse Latitudes, but he did mention something else here that I was trying to scroll up to see. Make sure, because there's so much things about zombie babies and zombie sex in here that you can go ahead and read this article if you want to talk a little bit about that. But the one part that I wanted to really refer to here, if I should have just bookmarked it real second here, is that what he wants to do next. And there's absolutely more stuff he wants to do next. In fact, he even mentions that there is a universe that he's wanting to do next. There's going to be more stuff on the line, and I'm actually pretty crazy excited for this. So, you seem to have a lot of zombie on your plate for the next few months. Are there other projects that you're working on or hoping to work on? And Snyder says, yeah, I wrote a huge giant thing that I'm hoping that Netflix might want to do. A huge giant thing that I'm hoping that Netflix might want to do. What is that? It's another giant universe thing that I've kind of come up with. Another giant universe. And when it says universe, I've got to think it's a sci-fi, right? I'm thinking it must be that sci-fi movie, right? Unless he's going to do a gigantic King Arthur type thing, but I feel like it's going to be that sci-fi, original sci-fi movie thing that he's going to do. It makes it a whole universe. He's going to make his own Star Wars, pretty much, I think. And that's pretty interesting. But are you at liberty to say anything more? And he says, no, not yet, but very soon. And then we are hoping to go to do a little teeny movie that I want to do. It shoots in South America, but the COVID numbers are pretty crazy down there right now, so we're holding off until maybe after the summer. It has elements of The Searchers. Have you seen that film? Basically, it's just this war photographer and this military advisor. They go on a journey into the countryside of South America, looking for the kidnapped nephew and niece of the contractor, and during their journey, they learn about each other and about themselves. It's a really super simple, small movie. I was going to do it literally with a handful of people, and we're just going to shoot it for real on location in Bolivia. I have 2 guys that I'm looking at right now that I'm just trying to figure out availability, and the script is done, and I have the cameras, so I can go shoot anytime someone says yes. So that's regards to Horse Latitudes. And then, finally, before I get into that, finally, a last thing about Army of the Dead. This is a giant spoiler. So if you don't want to hear this, and if you don't want to listen to members' comments and questions, you can end the video right now. You can end the video right now. But if you already saw the movie, you saw the ending, of course you saw the ending, then stick around, because Zack Snyder talks about the sequel right now. As we get into before we get into the members' comments and questions. Here we go. Last question about Army. Vanderohe, Omari Hardwick's character. He's going to be the new King Zombie if there's a sequel, right? Snyder says this: if there was ever a desire for another Army movie, I'm knocking on wood. I would be happy to do it. Shay and I know exactly what happens after this. And yes, Omari would be the new Zeus, and a very scary Zeus. That's right, because at the end of the movie, he's infected, and he goes off to Mexico City, or they're landing in Mexico City. So Mexico City would definitely be the new kingdom of zombies, and Omari right here is going to be the next Zeus. Kind of fitting, because he fought Zeus, right? He fought Zeus and lost against Zeus, but ultimately he lives, survives at the end, and he becomes the new Zeus. So there you go. That's the sequel. If there was ever going to be, if he was going to do it, Army of the Dead, Mexico City, Omari Hardwick, Vanderohe is going to be the new Zeus. So that's pretty cool. All right, well, let's get into one more thing. By the way, just to put a little just a little bit of towards Warner Brothers here. Netflix says, hope you all love Army of the Dead. Oh, and before you ask, this is the Snyder Cut. Because we are a studio that lets directors do whatever the fuck they want. And we let Snyder do whatever he wants. So yes, absolutely 100%. This is the Snyder Cut of Army of the Dead. Come. So that is so awesome. I love that tweet. Great work, guys. All right, let's get into the members' comments and questions. We end the show. Sandy Region, congratulations on your new family channel. Chris, you have something for everyone. Well, thank you so much, Sandy Region. Yeah. And my wife is pretty much documenting everywhere we go now. So she may have more videos coming up if you subscribe to that channel. Ping Pong Family. Wait, a Snyder Cut of Legend of Guardians? Well, that explains why SnyderCon 2019 didn't have that film. But the question is, how complete is the animation? That's a good question. Maybe next time when we see him, we'll ask that. If he has so many projects right now, so I don't know if he'll be able to get to do all that, but it'll be pretty awesome. On the subject of analogies, Legend of the Guardians is also a great parallel to the Prince Valiant comic and animated series with Hugo Weaving as King Arthur, Ewan McGregor as Prince Valiant. In other words, the film has got golden proof of how central the Arthurian mythos is to Zack. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty awesome, and he's got the owl's got body armor and everything. It's really cool. So I guess with The Rock's tease of the suit, he really is going, can you smell what the Black Adam is cooking? How does it smell? So help me. It's quite brilliant. I don't know, how does it smell? Worth noting that the old storyboard synopsis doesn't have Jon Stewart. So Zack's discussion of Stewart's role further teases that he has an entirely new and complete synopsis, God willing, in storyboard format like the old one. Yep. Yeah, so it's all figured out. He's got it all figured out. I don't know why I didn't close that. The original Highlander was a massive success, and I was a huge fan of the movies. As for this reboot, as long as they could find Sean Connery a mentor who can help guide him through, I believe that will make the movie a success. Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of the last one. In fact, I want to go back and watch it again. Like when I was pulling clips for the Highlander reboot, man, nostalgia all over again. There can be only one man. I'd actually be up for this. Watch everything Highlander multiple times, even Highlander 2. I know. I don't know why we have to be embarrassed to like Highlander 2. I love Highlander. I think I actually love Highlander 2. For what I remember, I got to go back and watch that. But I remember watching it over and over. I'm like, I love this movie. The shade that was thrown at Warner Bros. From Netflix was real. The thing that struck me about Army of Dead was how much such range of emotion was brought out by cast in such a relatively short time. Everything down to the Shamblers had soul and a shit ton of development. I don't know why it's not loading. Have watched it 5 times already. Wow, and seeing something new every time. I hold out hope always to restore Snyderverse. But Zack Snyder, Netflix's day with Army of the Dead. We trended hard tonight. This train never stops. All right. Good job, man. Okay, now I'm officially excited to hear Henry Cavill to do a Scottish accent. Yeah, I know, seriously. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to my Superman, there can be only one. Save for my Lois, only one. Either one, it will settle for nothing and nobody less. Well, let's see what happens if there is going to be more Superman from Henry Cavill. All right, well, that is it for tonight. I want to thank everyone for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment news and content, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time.